Tier list. Yeah, so I said specifically I wanted to do stand-up comics. So yeah, basically I have the Comedy Network growing up because I'm Canadian, and we would get a stand-up comedy on the regular because here in Canada we have Just for Laughs. Also, I had Winamp, and Winamp had a radio station on it, and that's how I got introduced to a lot of different comics, like Carlin, Pryor, maybe even Dice Clay. I do know my comics. Now, I'm curious of who is on this list, because some iffy ones there. First on our list of people who do comedy, Bo Burnham. Like, I've seen his stuff, he's very musical. I don't see him as much anymore. Does not say he's a bad comic by any stretch of the imagination. He's not. I just don't see him as much. Well, yeah, it is. He's a funny dude. He's a funny guy, so... Hey. Kevin James. Don't know if he's a stand-up. I feel I've seen him do some stand-up comedy, but I don't consider him stand-up. I consider him a comedy actor. Like you see on King and Queens, or even something like the Adam Sandler. He can be funny. I can't be like, he can be funny. Oh. Name I knew. I didn't think someone would actually do this. I didn't think anyone would absolutely put this in. I'll leave this on the side first. First off, Ellen. She was a stand-up before getting her own show, and I can't deny she's had an impact. But for me, she's C, because I don't know her bits as much, so she's kind of like a C rank for me. She's a comic. This one, I am shocked, got on. Speaks for itself, doesn't it? Now, I will say, I understand his impact in comedy in like 70s, 80s. He's an amazing comic. I've heard his old stuff. When I was grade 5, my teacher would play, like, if it's like we're stuck inside because it's raining, then he would put this guy's stuff on. I laughed hysterically because I thought it was funny. He's talking about his wife told him to get up and go make breakfast for the family. And one of the little ones comes down and he says, "What do you want for breakfast?" And the little kid looks around and says, "Oh, I want chocolate cake." And it's like, well, chocolate cake. It's got milk, it's got eggs and all that stuff. It's like, sounds good. One slice of chocolate cake coming up. And it does the same for the next kid and the next kid. Of course, the wife comes down and is like, "Why are you guys having chocolate cake?" And the kids who have been praising their father for all this time go, "We don't know, it's his fault. Why are you feeding chocolate kids?" She goes, "I don't know." That being said, as funny as this man hit was, it does not excuse the reality of who he is and what he's done. It has to go on F. He's influenced many comics, but the fact is, he's a very, very bad person. Chelsea Handler. I don't know her comedy. Anytime I see Chelsea Handler is only when she's on some TV show bitching about other comics. So, yeah. Good comic nowadays and getting up there. Bill Burr. I've known Bill for a while since listening to Opie and Anthony. I'm big into Opie and Anthony, and Bill Burr was one of the regulars that came on. Very, very funny guy. One of those comics that still pisses people off, and I kind of respect that. An interesting one, Carrot Top. One of those prop comics, and people really shit upon, especially in the 90s and maybe in the 2000s. But lately, I've seen him on Kill Tony, and he kills every time. He's a funny, funny dude, so his legacy speaks for itself. And he's now one of the blue collar guys, Bill Engvall. As it's blue collar and simple. He's a solid comedian. Like, he's a funny dude. "Oh, Here's Your Sign" is hilarious. Like I haven't seen it recently, but I know he's a funny dude. Wow. Okay, a couple less tiers. This man is, I consider him one of my teachers of life. This man was a social commentator, and certainly a guy people look to for their feelings and beliefs. And I have a special heart for him. I love him dearly. George Carlin. Easily one of the greatest comics to ever grace the stage, and someone who is really important to me, or someone I look to as far as like speech goes, because this man literally went to jail for saying shit, piss, fuck, cuck, sucker, motherfucker, tits. He went to fucking jail for that shit. Be glad we have some sort of free speech laws. I know Canada, we have limited ones, but this man is important for that kind of stuff. And even his take on religion, was it Live in New York, where he goes, like, where he basically says, "There is no God, none whatsoever. And he goes, if there's a God, may he strike this audience dead. Nothing happened. See? What on? Nah. Yes, this man is S tier as S tiers gets. He's my hero, my teacher. I love him. Now, remember, I had 2 S tiers, but that one's more serious. This one's incredibly more silly. As much as I'm aware, he's paid people as a stand-up. He has done some stolen stuff, but anyone who comes up to him and say he's stolen stuff, he pays people off for their work. So, but that does not change the fact that this man is sorely missed and one of the funniest human beings to ever walk this planet. And it's sad that drugs took him away and all that stuff, and it wrecked him. Boo. Mr. Williams. Robin Williams. Great actor, great comic, and even, go listen to some, the early 70s and 80s stand-up. It's so good. He's so fucking funny. You can't deny it. I like him over, say, a Jack Black. Because Robin can be serious and could stop and turn it off and speak like a normal human being, where Jack Black, I think, sometimes struggles. So, yeah, I love Robin. So, S tier. A name that has gone too soon. I think if he was still around, he would have been huge. From the 2000s, Mitch Hedberg. One-liner king. Oh my god, he's incredible as far as one-liners go. Worth looking up. Go find his sets. I always use a joke from his, because I live in an apartment building. When you go to an apartment building, there's no 13th floor. People on the 14th floor, come on. You all know what floor you're really on. If you jump out of the window, you will die a lot quicker. That's Mitch Hedberg. Great comic. Great comic. Should have been bigger. Would have been bigger. Okay, so in the 80s, this guy was on top of the world. Stand-up goes. He was incredible. He's really, really good. Can't deny this man's impact as far as black comic goes. Clearly overshadows some of the things Cosby has done. Eddie Murphy. Some of the movies are questionable, but as a stand-up, really, really good. Ever chose to do another stand-up gig, I think it would kill. If he did more, it'd be on S tier, but he's a good stand-up. I know some of his stuff. Hispanic humor, right? I know it's solid. George Lopez. As a comic, he's got some good stuff. But yeah, no, he's a solid comic, so I can put him in B. A comic people don't like nowadays, but as far as having an impact and an influence in the comedy scene, there's no one bigger, no one who gives people more chances than this guy. And even if you don't like him as a person, as a stand-up, tough shit. Tony Hinchcliffe has done a lot in the world of comedy. Stand-up, yeah, he's fine, but he's important to the world of comedy, so he's kind of A tier. One of the SNL guys who does the news, Michael Che. Can't say much about his comedy or his stand-up, but the what he puts Colin through, I can say he's pretty solid and he's a good comic, so I can at least put him on B. This one is an interesting one because I don't know him well for stand-up, but I do know him well enough to know Bert Kreischer. I know he was on Rogan a lot, has 2 bears. He has quite the laugh, quite the giggle. He is what he is. He's okay. He's C rank too. A comic from the 90s, not with us anymore because he smoked a lot. Bill Hicks. And certainly someone a lot of people would hate nowadays because of what his act is. He was quite the figure in stand-up at the time and still kind of is. Next comic, one I've actually seen live. It was really funny, can tell great stories. I've heard him on Opie and Anthony many times, and he's just great. Jim Jeffries, Australian comic, really, really good, really offensive too, but that just isn't the fact that he's a funny dude. I remember when I saw him live, he did Canadian stuff, and he has a spot-on Canadian accent too. I know this guy from Tough Crowd, that sort of thing, with that kind of crew. So I knew him when he was starting out. Impressive to see where he is now. Kevin Hart. I don't think there is a place in the world that doesn't know Kevin Hart, or at least know his face at this point. I have seen one of his specials, and it was pretty solid. So, and he's a guy that will stand up for comics. Will not butcher this guy's name. Anthony Jeselnik. I know his early comedy, he can be really offensive. He's like one of those handsome guys that got away with it. But yeah, nowadays he can be like, so he can be C rank. Okay, I got a
F-lister.
seen her around. I don't know how good of a stand-up she is. All I know is anytime I see her around, she's bitching about something and bitching about World of Comedy, and that's not great. I don't care for that. So, all right, certainly a big name in comedy, impact in the world of comedy. Jerry Seinfeld. Again, can't deny his impact in the world of stand-up, but no, he's done very, very well for himself. Still going around doing comedy. If I sat down and actually listened to his stuff, I probably would have LOL. I'll at least put him in A, because one, I don't know him that well, and two, I just accept that he's a legendary, so at least put him in A. Okay, so this guy is from Mad TV. As far as stand-ups go, he could be really good, but as a voice impersonator and someone who has watched Mad TV, you know this guy's face. Frank Caliendo, one of the best impersonators and voice actors, period. He's really, really good. Like, there's a great clip of him and Dan Soder where he breaks down some of the voices he does and how it works as far as pitching goes. So, like, where you watch Mad TV and he's doing George W. Bush Jr. or John Madden. John Madden, it's all fucking amazing. Caliendo, B rank. I've seen his stand-up. He's actually really funny. He's a good actor. Got his own show. Ray Romano. Say for sure, this guy's a good comic. Now, this one is a name. I don't consider him much of a stand-up. I know he's done stand-up, but I consider him more of a comedy actor. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. As far as comedy actors go, nowadays, it can be pretty childish. Some of those movies are so solid and stand-up. Adam Sandler. So again, I do consider more of a comedy actor more than a stand-up. That's not to say he can't be funny. He can be funny. It's Happy Gilmore's a great film, comedy film. Now, according to Knox, one of the GOATs, I've seen his comedy. I've seen his sets. Who is really, really funny when it comes to doing stand-up. People know him as Fluffy. I know him as Gabriel Iglesias. He's a really funny dude. Really, really funny dude. I love his ability to tell stories in a funny manner. Now, this can be B rank. Jim Gaffigan, one of the cleanest comics you'll ever see. Has some solid bits, so he's... Now, another a person from the 90s, certainly still going today, but he has a famous bit I can't repeat. It's Chris Rock. As a stand-up, he's pretty goddamn good. Like, he was great for his time. His impact can be really felt, and I think he belongs on that S tier. Speaking of a person with bits I can't repeat because I'm not the same color, Dave Chappelle. In the 2000s, he was the man. He was the man. And he's still good. Regardless of how you think of him politically, he's still S tier as far as comedy goes. I love his old school bit where he goes to the hood for the first time and goes, gun store, liquor store, gun store, liquor store, where are you taking me? Yeah, he's S tier. Certainly a comic from the 90s. Certainly had some good times in the 2000s. He made an impact as far as blue-collar comedy goes. Jeff Foxworthy. The redneck bit is hilarious. Can't deny. Like there were some fun times with this person. This next one is someone I enjoy watching. As far as comics who are also ventriloquists, I don't think it gets much better. Jeff Dunham, as good as they come when it comes to being a comic. But if it was like ventriloquist comedians go, this would be S tier. There's no one bigger. No puppet that's bigger than Ahmed. Even the Bubba, Walter, Jose Jalapeno on a stick. A tier. Now, this next one is interesting because I don't know him that well as a comic. I'm aware of what he's done in the world of comedy. I think he's like the first comics comic. Andy Kaufman. Don't know him that well. I know of him because I like wrestling. and this man had his face slapped by Jerry Lawler on Late Night with David Letterman. His importance, big on the one-liners, and this guy is just as big as far as the one-liners go. Stephen Wright. Yes, as far as like one-liner comics go, he's one of the best. Yes, I recommend people to go look up his sets. A tier. Yes. Can't deny he was really, really big. Dan Cook. And his antics on stage, as silly as they are, no, they're good. He's a good comic, so at least I don't know if he's going around as much anymore. From the Blue Collar Group, Dom may seem to some people, they're the Kayla guy. He made himself a name and worked his ass off to do it, so get it in. Interesting name today, and someone who certainly does stand up for comedy, and I do respect him, Ricky Gervais. And I've seen some of his stand-ups, what it is. As podcasters go, this is S tier as S tier gets, because he literally has anyone on. But as a stand-up comic, he's pretty dirty. Joe Rogan. Now, as a comic, he's dirty. I didn't know he was a comic until after like Fear Factor. I remember watching the Dave Chappelle clip where he's going around and he runs into Joe Rogan, and it's like, oh my god, he ran into the Fear Factor guy. What are the odds? And they know each other? No way. What are the odds? Put him in B rank. But again, another guy who stands up for comedy. Again, this one belongs more on the comedy actor side of things. Zach Galifianakis. Funny, like I've seen Between Two Ferns. I mean, it is funny. I can't deny it. Again, he's more of a comedy actor than a stand-up to me. Patton Oswalt. Solid comic. Nowadays, he's like, eh. He can be pretty preachy, but I know as a stand-up, he's pretty okay, so. I will say, this guy is as funny as the funny gets. And I know some people will have an issue with it. Louis C.K., who has made quite the return as far as comedy goes. Happy about it, because he is a funny dude, as much as I don't agree with him politically. Go listen to Mono N.A. He's so funny, and even his bits. I barely consider her a comic. She's more of a comedy actress. Sarah Silverman. Meh. Like, really, meh. I show her a picture, and I am like, yeah, is she really that good of a comic? And the answer is, no, she's really not. I'm sure some people will think differently of her, but I don't. So, a legend in the world of comedy. I never grew up with him, but I recognize his importance in the world of comedy. Again, I don't think there's anyone more important in the world of comedy, stand-up comedy at that time as it was booming. Then, Richard Pryor. And anytime I've heard any of his stuff, I am LOLing. Go listen to him talk about going to a Chinese restaurant. Him talking about, I met a Chinese man that stuttered. It's just the way he tells the story is great. So he's important as important gets. Another clean comics can be, but a very good clean comic. Brian Regan. Solid. Whoa! Oh! I found an F! So, I'm surprised one comic didn't make it. There was no Andrew Dice Clay, which should be on here. As far as 90s comics go, Andrew Dice Clay was as big as they get. So, the fact that he's not on the list is a shame. Remember, I said I found an F. Carlos Mencia. World-renowned joke thief. Considering he's in a lot of trouble right now, gonna happen to a better guy, so F tier. Now, I got last two are gems. They're perfect. Perfect. So, we had 3 of the Blue Collar Crew. The last one of the bunch, Ron White. I mean, his specials speak for themselves. He's a genuinely funny human being. His stand-up is really, really good. Remember, it's not that the wind is blowing. It's what wind is blowing. And lastly, another A tier, Sally Gone. Another example of a comics comic. And to me, I enjoy seeing his stuff on SNL, seeing all the stuff he did about O.J. Simpson, all that stuff. The last one on the list, Norm Macdonald, fellow Canadian. Is there another Canadians on this list? Yeah, go find. There's plenty of SNL stuff, especially with the O.J. Simpson stuff. He is A tier. Well, like, I know comics will say he's S tier, but he's very much A tier. Editing and stuff. But yes, there's my list. I think it's solid. Obviously, a name I wish was on there is Andrew Dice Clay. Such a big name to be left off is weird. Maybe even like a Red Fox. Put a Red Fox. Or even, where's Rodney Dangerfield? Where the fuck is Rodney? Rodney Dangerfield, a really important comic. Yeah, the fact that Rodney Dangerfield isn't on that list is disgusting.